Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Before starting, subscribe and like the videos, it really helps a lot. The content from this video are taken from the web novel and manga series of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. Now please enjoy the video.
Part 3. Everything felt fresh living at the dormitory. First, my roommate was fresh. Melissa Senpai was from the magic race. My grandmother said that the magic race were evil. I was taught that the magic race were existences that should be rejected, and an evil that must be destroyed. If I had not met Reincarnation, I would definitely have thought so up to now. That's why, when I met Melissa Senpai, I understood that I should have a courteous attitude towards her. To me, who was able to greet her properly, Melissa Senpai welcomed me. She warmly received me, who had entered in the middle of the term, and helped me with many things. Things like how to eat our meals, how to use the restrooms, what the dorm rules were. Everything was taught by Melissa Senpai. The senpai from the Vigilante Corps said that everybody living in the dorm was family and that we should all get along. She was a person from a scary-looking race, but had a strong sense of responsibility. My heart leapt in joy at this lifestyle I will have from now on. While it's a pain to have to show my face at my brother's house every 10 days, my brother wasn't going to ask in detail about my school life, so I felt relieved. My life at the dorm began. First, the classes were difficult. I think it was because the way of teaching was different than the school in Millis. While it may have been different if I learnt things from the beginning, since I came in the middle, there were many things that I didn't understand. Although there were religious classes in Millis, Renoa had none, and instead it had magic classes. Since this class also wasn't from the beginning, I was not very good at it. If my grades were bad, I would perhaps be forced to move back into the house. Thinking that, I studied even harder to stay in the dorms. For parts that I was at a loss with and couldn't understand, Melissa Senpai kindly taught me. Then for the first time I began to understand the parts of the classes that I had missed. Surely my little sister would have understood immediately. I was fed up with my lack of power of comprehension. The school grounds were big as well, and I got lost many times. Especially for physical and magical classes that the Millis schools don't have, I was perplexed as to where the classrooms were. Each time a person from class would come search for me, or a senpai or teacher I don't know will assist me. I also saw my brother once. At that time, being seen with my brother who was the greatest person at the school, I felt ashamed. My brother was feared in the school. It seemed he would take along 6 of his henchmen and do whatever he liked. Among them were 2 people that acted pridefully in the dorms. Even Melissa Senpai warned me that I was better off not to defy them. It seems that my brother used those 2 to gather panties from cute girls. Does my brother's wife know about this? She may not know, although I don't know what he planned on doing with those panties he gathered. Even though my father was suffering at this time, my brother was playing around like this. I was filled with hatred. I disdained him. However, even though he does these things, despite my expectations, my brother's reputation was good. He isn't violent towards regular students, and even though he did what he liked, it seems he did not make anybody unhappy. On the contrary, it seems he told the school's delinquents not to bully the weak. The scary child in my class was talking proudly about my brother. He was better at magic than anybody, and his teaching methods were great. And it seems that he taught someone much smaller than me as well. My classmates, Melissa Senpai, even my teacher, they all said to become like my brother. That I should aim to become like him. I didn't understand what they were thinking. To become like my brother that I feared, hated, and scorned. I didn't want to be like him. But, more than that, I was frustrated. My brother, like my little sister, was above me in everything. He was an existence that I could not hope to reach no matter how much effort I put in. Even though I hated him. Even though I disdained him. But, I was an existence that was lower than even him. Part 4. That day, I went back to the dorms, and fell on the bed. Various emotions were jumbled up inside me. Bitterness. Sadness. Helplessness. Anger. My feelings became tears that overflowed. After a while, Melissa Senpai came back. She kindly asked me, who was crying, what was wrong. I rejected her, saying nothing was wrong, and covered myself with my blanket. What is it that I should do? Is my attitude towards my brother a mistake? I see. Maybe my brother was not a person that I had first imagined him to be. That day, the day when my brother hit my father, I was very young. After that, no matter how many times my father said, "Your brother also had it tough," I was unable to understand. But right now, especially right now, I was able to understand a little of how he felt. Because, right now, it's painful. Being here, doing my best, doing things to my utmost effort. Being full of energy, and then being told, "You were just playing around without a care, right?" Even I would have become angry. Even if it was my father, we would have gotten into a fight. But, that being the case, what kind of face should I show to my brother? What did my brother want me to do? How did my brother and my father make up? Think. My stomach was in pain. As if the area below my chest was squeezing tightly. I became nauseous. I passed the time curled in bed. I couldn't do anything. Just merely facing my brother, I couldn't do it. In times like these, it was always my father that came to the rescue. Whenever I curled in bed from hateful things, my father would come and gently comfort me. When I separated from my father, it was Reincarnation. He would place me on his lap, and while patting my head, he would talk about various things. Here, I have nobody. Melissa Senpai had helped me a lot. However, she's not an ally. Let's go see your brother, or, you should show up in class. She was saying those things. I understand them. But my body refuses to move. Part 5. I wonder how long it has been since I became troubled. Thinking, getting tired, then sleeping. While repeating these actions, it felt like many days have passed. I sat at the end of the bed. When I realized, I saw my brother in front of me. He sat on a chair, his elbows on the backrest. Then he looked fixedly at me. Norn. Brother. For the first time, it felt like I called my brother, brother. Many things came into my head. This didn't seem like an illusion. This is the girls' dormitory. Why is he here? I was confused. My brother was fixing his gaze at me, who was confused. We looked at each other for a while. Like this, it may have been the first time I truly looked at my brother's face. It was a face of anxiety. It looked a lot like my father. A face that gave me a peace of mind. Of course, since they're father and son. Norn. I'm sorry. It's been painful ever since you came here, right? My brother opened his mouth quietly. I didn't know what you were going through. Even though things became like this, I don't know what to do. My brother was saying these things with an uneasy face. A figure that looked exactly like my father, and since then, my brother did not move at all. He looked at me uneasily, but he never moved from his seat. If it was my father, he would hug me without restraint, and if it was Reincarnation, I would likely be patted on the head. However, my brother does not approach me. For some reason, I understood. He couldn't approach me. He was scared of being rejected by me. When I thought that, the feelings inside me mysteriously cleared up. The feelings of hatred and fear towards my brother never gushed forth. I no longer felt afraid. My brother was just like my father. My brother would definitely not hit me. And surely, he would never again hit my father. I have to forgive my brother. Before I realized, tears were welling up and dropping. My throat trembled, and I began to cry. I'm sorry, brother, I'm sorry. My brother timidly came up and sat next to me. Then, gently, he placed his hand on top of my head, then hugged me close. My brother's hand was warm, and his chest was big and tough. And, he smelled just like my father. On that day, I cried in my brother's arms all through the night. Rudeus's point of view. In the end, I couldn't do anything. She wouldn't say anything to me. What she was unsatisfied about, or what she was troubled by. I did not understand her true feelings. Norn just kept crying. When she finished crying, she just silently said, "I'm fine now." Her face seemed refreshed, contrary to what I imagined. She looked into my eyes. Deeply and directly. When I saw that, I felt relieved somehow. I thought that everything will be fine. That's why I left Sylphy to take care of the rest, and left the room.
That's it guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want more and don't forget to like the videos.